Well, I would say that in the situation that we're in, we are in a partnership with the NCAA. That's by their bylaws. That's by the way that the mission statement of the NCAA is. The member institutions are in partnership to try to work together to come out with not necessarily the answer that we want or the answer they want, but the right answer. So I can't do what some will do, because that's not the mission of this. The mission of this is to do the right thing based on the information that has been compiled. And so it's frustrating. It's beyond frustration. We haven't commented on it. The process that we have been told is still ongoing, and whenever the process is still ongoing, and a lot of that is on us, because we obviously aren't content with the way the process is moving. So we've got to do our job as far as create a situation in which the process moves in a more favorable direction towards Cheick, if in fact that's possible, which we 100% believe it is. So yeah, it's frustrating, but I bet at this point in time, I don't have to say anything publicly, because that will happen. I mean, that's going to happen, and it won't necessarily have to come from a member of the University of Kansas or athletic department, but it'll happen. I mean, it can't help but happen, so I certainly at some point in time, when you see a 6'9" kid sitting with the coat and tie on at the end of the bench, every camera that we play at is going to focus, and the announcers are going to talk about Cheick. I mean, that's going to happen. That doesn't mean that we're planting seeds. That's a fact of the matter. And every game we play that he's not suited up, that's going to be a topic of conversation. Cheick. So it's not like we have to do it. Trust me, the media will be our mouthpiece without question. You know what? I thought our bigs actually played pretty good the other day. Landen was hurt, so he really didn't have a chance to play well. But Jamari played well, and Hunter played pretty well, and Carlton played pretty well. And so, there is some competition there. And that's not counting a healthy Landen. That's not counting Cheick being out there. So I don't know how it all play out. I do know I feel like that we got short burst from a lot of guys. And that's how we played this summer over in South Korea, and it worked out well. But nobody, unless somebody separates from themselves, nobody's going to be a 25-minute-a-game guy in that other spot away from Perry, unless somebody separates. Everybody's going to be in that 12 to 16-minute range probably, and just whoever plays the best that particular night gets the most minutes. We'll play 4 bigs, but the way things are going, I think Perry's going to play a lot at the 3. So when he plays a lot at the 3, that allows another big to be in the game. So I think the way I see us moving forward is I think that could be a good lineup for us moving forward. To be honest, it makes us a better rebounding team. We're every bit as quick, because Perry's as quick as anybody we have. So we're certainly not going to lose anything defensively. I don't believe on the perimeter. If Perry's playing back there, and it allows one more of our better players to be in the game. So I think, and then when you look at it, like Perry doesn't shoot it as well as some of our guys from a number standpoint. But when you talk about percentages, I mean, he shoots the 3 ball about as well as anybody we have from a percentage standpoint. He's just not going to shoot as many. So I think there's some advantages to playing that way. But we'll wait and see how it plays out. But I do know that we got to get much better at the wing defensively. That was atrocious. Would probably be a good way to put it the other night, and how our wings defended and how well they slid their feet. So if that's going to be the case, then why don't we play big? And because I could certainly see that being a viable option and a good option for us. The 4s and 5s are totally interchangeable. It doesn't make any difference if you're 4 or 5, because they all do the same things for the most part. We may run some actions to get land in an angle, or run some actions to get somebody the ball in tight. But the reality of it is that Carlton can play the 4, he can play the 5. They're 2 bigs, and so whether Landen and Hunter are in there together or Carlton and Perry, it makes no difference. We're going to do the same things. And so what that does is allow three bigs to play at the same time, whenever Perry's playing on the wing. But I think it can't be anything near as poor as what I saw the other night. And I'm not being totally negative, but it is reality. I mean, we got to get better. Our two best perimeter defenders, without question, are Frank and Devontae, and we got to have somebody else back there that can slide their feet and become a lockdown type defender for us. And if we can't get there, because of whatever reasons, then why not play big? And then you become a better rebounding team, and you're probably even a better percentage shooting team too. So, I'm not crazy about it because I've always been in favor, and I said this year all along we're going to play smaller, this and that. But I think our smaller is having Frank and Devontae be out there at the same time. But I just want to see how athletic we are and see if we can actually guard little guards. I mean, that was ridiculous. I mean, we had simple switches in which, guys are just going right around us and shooting layups. I mean, I think that they shot about 30% for the game, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll bet you of the 30% that they shot, I'll bet you they made 10 layups. We actually did some decent things as far as, making them shoot a low percentage and things like that. But our guys understand that's not how you win games. You can't give up layups, and you got to be able to keep the ball in front of you, and you got to out-scrap people and things like that. And I just didn't feel like we did that. So if we're not going to be a great rebounding team, which I think we still could be, if we're not going to be a great defensive team on the perimeter, which I still think we have potential to do that, then just play big. I mean, why not? But certainly that's not my goal. My goal is to get these guys playing to their athletic ability. But we look slow the other night. I mean, and you guys saw it, don't you agree? We looked slow, and guards went around us a little. So, I mean, I want to see what improvement we made, and I want to see about energy level. I thought we played really cool the other night. I thought Carlton Bragg, without question, impacted the game more than anybody else with his energy and things like that. So I mean, if a freshman can do it, I don't understand why a junior cannot. So I'm just anxious to see how those older guys react after I've kind of been on their butt for a few days.